My open letter to Cassie Ventura. I watched and read closely all of the details that you shared on the stand last week in a very infamous trial of someone that you cared about and probably still care about in some capacity. And I want to say that I am very proud of you. I'm proud of you for sharing things that you never ever wanted to see the day of light, things that do not bring prestige or a favorable light to you as a person, you as a woman, you as a thinking human being. But you did it. And I feel like that you did it, and your personal statement released by your lawyer speaks to that. You wanted to be an example for other humans who have experienced a similar situation and to give them courage to do what you did, which was to get out and to push through the hard, 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 hard journey of letting go and forgiving and processing emotion and falling in and out of love and out of love and in love again, releasing what you know, what no longer serves you concerning this person and the situation and the relationship, and keeping the things that still serve you, the lessons that you learned in that situation. I empathize with you because I know that it wasn't easy for what you did, but you did it with a greater purpose. You didn't do it to expose unfavorable situations and events that happened in order to shed a bad light on anybody. But you know, at the end of the day, the truth was the truth. And whether that made you look crazy, and maybe that made you and somebody else look crazy, but you were willing to speak the truth. Because there was a greater truth that you were speaking to on that stand. And I felt it, and I read it, and I see it. And I see you. I see you as a person who is doing the work and has done the work to forgive herself and to forgive others in order to give yourself a fair shot to move on and to have a life worth living. I empathize with you because you shared on the stand that there were times, and have been times even in recent years, where you didn't want to be on this planet anymore. I would imagine that the weight of what has happened, the weight of what you might think that you allowed to happen or others to happen, or a combination of all three, and to look up and to feel like that you have given up so much. You've given up time. You've given up your innocence. You've given up opportunity. But more importantly, you've given up on yourself. And you cannot see how you're able to move forward, where you're not able to even fathom what it looks like and feels like on the other side. Because quite frankly, you were in darkness for a very long time. And when you're in darkness for a very long time, you just don't know if you'll ever see the light. You are perfectly aware that light exists. Matter of fact, you might see light in other people's lives, other people's relationships, but yet you can't see it in your own. And that takes bravery for what you did. But I hope people really understand what you were doing, Cassie. I feel like I do. I feel like that I resonate with a part of your journey on that stand and everything else before then that you've publicly shared about how you are doing the work in order to move forward with your life. For many years, you protected others. You protected others from facing their own consequences to your detriment. You were a protector. You were being a protector of yourself and protectors of others in the best way that you knew how. You didn't know or was aware of how to get away. But what you did learn is how to survive. I see you. I appreciate you. And I thank you. And I wish you and your family all the best. But most importantly, I hope you know that any amount of light that you found since your darkness, that you know that that's a sign that there is more light to be had in your life. That when those dark days come, you know and understand that there is light. Because when you walked away, that is when the clouds parted and sun came through the sky. You might not have been able to see it because your head still hung low. They were still buried between your legs, trying to figure out how you were going to really even live on the next day. It was buried in a pillow full of tears and smeared makeup and mascara. It was you balled up on the shower floor, figuring out how did you get to where you were. Because when you started that journey, you were a bright-eyed, beautiful 19-year-old aspiring R&B singer ready to take on the world. And here you are years later to find yourself in the situation that you're in. Not even the situation, the chapter of your life that you're in now. But know that you don't have anything to hang your head low for, because we all have a journey to be had. And what if the journey that you took is giving you all the knowledge and wisdom in order to raise your two beautiful daughters and your soon to be born son? And for you to really hold the torch for other people who have experienced, other women who've experienced what you've experienced, just to give them a glimpse of hope and courage that they can too do the same. Because we both know that it takes a whole lot of courage to walk away from that. It takes a whole lot of courage to stand up for yourself for when you have not stood up for yourself for years. Not having the strength or the wherewithal to walk away, but you found it. And you have added and paved a path for others to take. And that is no small feat. And there and in that journey that you've taken, you're helping others. I see you and I thank you and I wish you well. And I know that you will be okay. Even those days you don't feel like that you will be. Because you took that first step. Thank you, Cassie Ventura.